Quick disclaimer. Information in this podcast is for general informational purposes only and is not intended to be treated as medical advice. Always consult with your healthcare team before making changes to your diet, lifestyle, supplementation, or medication.
Today we've drawn together a series of chats. You'll hear from Melana, John, Jackie, Dean, and Helen.
Welcome to Type 2 Diabetes Talk, the place where we chat about what really works to treat type 2 diabetes and prediabetes naturally with nutrition and lifestyle. If you're looking to optimize blood sugar and A1C, lose weight, reduce medications, and improve your overall health, this is the place to be. Now, here's your host, Type 2 Diabetes Nutrition Specialist, Dr. Jetta.
Welcome back to another episode of Type 2 Diabetes Talk, episode 25. Imagine lowering your A1C levels by 3% and lowering medication. How good would that feel? Imagine effortlessly losing weight that you struggled to shift for many years. How good would that feel? Imagine, after having diabetes for 20 years, you finally get your head around what your numbers actually mean. How good would that feel? Imagine feeling empowered that you now had the knowledge and tools to manage your diabetes more effectively long term. Now, how good would that feel? I can tell you, all of this feels absolutely wonderful. One of the greatest pleasures I have doing what I do is hearing from people who share their stories of success, their experiences and triumphs, and sometimes their challenges too, of course, that's part of it. But I just love the impact that the knowledge of nutrition and health and the right tools and resources can have on people's lives. It's such a very rewarding thing that I'm always so grateful for, to know that you've had a positive impact on people's lives. And I'd like to share some of that inspiration with you today. Today we've drawn together a series of chats that I had with several people about their experiences, results, benefits and outcomes of taking part in the T2Diet program. You'll hear from Melana, John, Jackie, Dean, and Helen. We'll explore how the program helped them, the most important things they took away from the program, and they'll also share key pieces of advice they would give you if you're ready to make a change. Let's dive in and hear from Melana first. Melana, how did the program help you?
So it made me refocus on my goals and my direction. The most amazing thing for me was that I know I was about 67, 68 kilos. And when I went on to the program that you recommended, I lost those 4 kilos in no time. And I weigh myself every morning, or not every morning, probably once a week at least. And I'm still on 64.5, 64.
And what's one thing you learned?
And I didn't realise that your blood sugar stays in your system for those 3 months. So you can't just deprive yourself 2 weeks before, cut out every bit of sugar and thinking that it will make a difference. It doesn't. It stays in your system. Yeah, you can't cheat.
What advice would you give others wanting to make a change?
Well, they need to read the information. They need to, first of all, understand the dangers that it can spiral out of control. And once that happens, you can't do anything about it. And the other one is your T2Diet. It was really good that the guidelines are there and the recipes are there. It provides all the resources and the support mechanisms to make people, help people to be on that path. And it's not a difficult thing to do. So there's no excuse. You've got the structure there. You've got the food groups. You've got the information. All you've got to do is commit yourself.
How fantastic. The program helped Melana refocus on her goals. She lost 9 pounds or 4 kilos effortlessly and is happy that she continues to maintain the weight loss. Plus, she reduced her HbA1c by 0.7% and has maintained a level at 6% or under. That is just absolutely fantastic. Next up, we'll be hearing from John. John, how did the program help you?
And so when I started the program, I think my HbA1c was 9 or 10 or something like that. At the end of the program, it was down to 6, which was amazing. Over the period, I think I lost 5 or 6 kilos, and I've managed to pretty much keep that off. And I was able to reduce medication, and it just worked really well. It's now over a year, but I've been able to prove that it's, sustainable.
And what's one thing that you learned?
I came into the program because I was interested in learning a bit more about the impact of diet on my diabetes and my sugar levels. I knew that diet was important, but I didn't know what in my diet was having the impact. My doctor had sort of said, if you lose weight and you exercise more and whatever, it'll help. But nobody actually said or explained to me the impact of carbohydrates on my blood sugar. And when I started going through the program, the way it was set up with the weekly sort of inputs and reviews of what went before, it all sort of started to sink in. So I think that understanding, the penny finally dropped. And then I guess the other thing that I found really interesting was some of the recipes. I'm not a great cook, just by myself, so I don't need to entertain or to. Yeah, there were some really good ideas, and I have used some of the recipes for entertaining, and people have asked for more of it.
What advice would you give others wanting to make a change?
Well, I could be really blatant and say, well, sign up to this program because it really made a big difference for me. But getting information and absorbing information about your diet, because that for me it was that finally making that understanding, that connection between what I was eating and what impact that was having on my blood sugar. Making a commitment as well to something. And so for me, it was, I need to do something about my diabetes to stabilise it. I don't really like taking a whole heap of medication. Let's see if there's something proactive that I can do to do that. And so having a program, having information coming in each week, having good support and encouragement, and then just seeing the results as time went on, it just all sort of made sense. And so I could see the results coming. And then when at the end of the program, when I did my the HbA1c and it came back, I was just blown away by the result.
Isn't that just incredible? John came into the program to learn more about the impact of diet on his diabetes health. He followed the weekly nutrition modules and discovered the connection and was amazed at the results. He lowered A1C by 3%, lost 5 to 6 kilos or about 13 pounds, and reduced medications.
Are you ready to take charge of your diabetes health? Dr. Jetta's T2Diet program has been clinically proven in a randomized controlled trial to dramatically reduce A1C, weight, and medications in just 16 weeks. The T2Diet program will guide you step by step to discover an eating plan that feels natural and sustainable for you, and most importantly, works to get results. Learn more and join the program today at type2diabetestalk.com/programs.
Next up, we'll hear from Jackie. Jackie, how did the program help you?
I found my benefits to it were that I've ended up with a much better understanding of the relationship between type 2 diabetes and diet. I've got much better management, and I'm keeping my doctor happy at the moment. And it's usually sort of 7.8 to 8. It was in that range. My last HbA1c was actually 7, sort of right on. I haven't been down there for years, so I was really pleased about that. So was the doctor. I think your guidelines are wonderful.
What's one thing you learned?
I've done a lot more testing, I think, since I've been on the program than I used to before. And so I'm becoming much more aware of what I can, and I won't say, when I mean get away with, what I can still keep in my diet without having any detrimental effect on my blood sugar. So, yeah, I'm certainly doing a lot more testing than I used to do, because before I didn't do a lot, or I hadn't done a lot for a number of years, because I really felt it wasn't telling me much. But now I sort of, I think I've got a much better understanding of what it is telling me. So, yeah.
What advice would you give others wanting to make a change?
I think you've got to really want to commit to it. You've got to recognise that it's going to be not easy to make changes which are long-term, because it's not just something you can do for a month or 3 months and then, all will be well. It's a life-changing commitment. So I'd say it's challenging, but definitely worth it.
That is such an empowering experience. Jackie now manages her diabetes better because she understands the meaning of her numbers and how what she eats affects her diabetes health. She lowered her A1C from 8% down to 7%, and she hasn't been down that low for years. How absolutely wonderful. Next, we'll hear from Dean. Dean, how did the program help you?
Health-wise, the T2Diet has been fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Lost a little bit of weight, not that I particularly needed to lose weight, but I think I'm down at probably what my body feels is more an optimal weight for me. The HbA1c readings, now I've had 3 in a row, and they've all been roughly the same, 5.6, 5.7 and 5.8. So enough that my fairly conservative doctor has said, well, I've seen you've done 3 in a row now, so I'm going to take you off one bit of medication, taking both Jardiance and metformin for it. And she's taken me off the Jardiance now. And we'll see how she goes, whether she's game enough to let me go off the metformin in another couple of months too.
What's one thing you learned?
What I found amazing is I've been a person all my life who I love my chips, fish and chips kind of thing. How was I ever going to give those up? And I've never been a huge fan of vegetables. I mean, you kind of eat them because you have to. You know that you have to, so you force yourself to eat them. But as we moved along in this diet and followed the recipes, I've actually now totally turned that around. I really don't care about the chips anymore, but I've come to enjoy my salads and my vegetables so much more in the meals. The recipes are fantastic, actually, absolutely fantastic. And we still use it all on a daily basis. Every day we'll come to 5 o'clock or so and say, okay, what's for dinner tonight? And my wife's straight onto the website, looking up through the recipes. Let's go for this one tonight. And
what advice would you give others wanting to make a change?
Well, we never started the whole thing with the view of this is a 16-week program and we'll do it and get what we can out of it, but then we'll go back to our old diet. We always took the view that if this diet is good, then it's a forever diet. Yeah, there's no point in starting a diet and then saying, whoa, I lost weight. My blood sugar levels are better, but now I'm going to go back to what I did before. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Amazing. The T2 diet has helped Dean improve his overall health. He lowered his A1C by 1.3%, and at the time of this chat, his last 3 readings had stayed around 5.6 to 5.8%. And his doctor had reduced his medication and was looking to take him off all his medication. We'll be sharing Dean's full story in a future episode, so stay tuned for that. Next, we'll hear from Helen. Helen, how did the program help you?
I think more than anything, it was more like a comprehensive education. Like, I knew about nutrition. I knew a lot. Like, I've been dieting since I was 9. I know a lot about trying to lose weight. I don't know anything about being successful at losing weight. I think the program came at the right time for me. I was about 154 kilos, and at the moment I'm 128. But I was struggling at that 154 for a long time. It's what I needed to have that level of engagement. So, yeah, it definitely got me in the right space, really rethinking what I'm doing for myself.
What's one thing you learned?
The constant promotion of unsustainable lifestyles is just ludicrous. Part of the methodology that you've put together is that it's support. I struggled with my doctor's attitude, which was often just stop being fat, which is not helpful. And it's given me not just a tool, but an attitude for how I'm looking after myself.
And what advice would you give others wanting to make a change?
I think you've really got to have a good conversation with yourself. Is this what you want for yourself? Or do you want to hold yourself to a bit of a higher standard and work towards it? And it's work. It is work. It's never going to be not work. But yeah, the tools that you're getting are, it's got to be a whole lifestyle. You've got to engage in the program to get what you need out of it. Yeah, if you want better for yourself, this is a good way to go.
Seriously wonderful and so incredibly inspiring. Helen struggled for a long time with achieving weight loss and wasn't getting any support from other sources. The program provided the education, support and encouragement to help her engage and rethink the importance of her own health. She's now lost 57 pounds or 26 kilos. I actually think Helen's lost more weight since I spoke to her and is continuing to improve her health and enjoy it too. So incredible, so inspiring, so motivational. To achieve the same results as all of these wonderful people, head over to our website and join us as a member. It will honestly be the best decision you ever made for yourself. In any case, I hope you grab some key takeaways and inspiration from hearing from all of these wonderful people today. Hope to see you inside with the DMP family. Dr. Jeddah, over and out.
Thanks for tuning in to Type 2 Diabetes Talk. Please subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast platform. And for episode replays, episode notes, and more, visit type2diabetestalk.com. New episodes are available Tuesdays, 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, or your time zone equivalent. Thanks again. We're truly grateful to be a part of your life and help make a real difference.